There are a lot of old classic horror movies that I've just never seen, partly because I didn't actually start watching horror movies until my late teens. I didn't have a lot of the nostalgic feeling towards Michael Myers that I know some of the original viewers had, nor did I get to watch how the franchise evolved over time, like with the Rob Zombie movies. I could definitely see how the movie would generate a lot of buzz considering the first one was made in the late 70s. But then, I watched Halloween 2, and it was the best thing I've ever done, and I want to show you why, so let's watch it together. I really like sequels that pick up directly after the original. Despite coming out 2 years after the first, chronologically the movie is the same night as the first film. Both Halloween 1 and 2 share a similar runtime of about an hour and a half. They employ some techniques to make it feel longer though, like how the first 10 minutes of the movie is a recap and then a painfully long opening credit sequence. Dr. Loomis from the first movie becomes more and more unhinged as the movie progresses. After shooting Michael Myers 6 times earlier in the night, Myers is able to get up and walk away. Understandably concerning, no doubt.
Call the police! I shot him 6 times!
How many times?
I shot him 6 times!
I'm sorry, how many?
I shot him 6 times!
Oh, okay, I got it. Myers goes into this house to get a new knife to kill some more teenagers. After dropping a little bit of blood onto Mrs. Elrod's cutting board, she freaks out. Her Good Samaritan neighbor, however, runs outside to check in on her, with Michael Myers literally in front of her.
Mrs. Elrod? Mr. Elrod? Are you okay?
Are you blind?
There was someone screaming next door. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Elrod.
Yeah, it was probably nothing. Just go ahead and go back inside. So anyway...
Fatality.
So when they wheel out Jamie Lee Curtis, this is where the real fun begins. They bring Jamie Lee to the hospital and have a number of health code violations right off the bat. We know this area that they're in is where patients come check into the hospital, and they wheel her over here about 15 feet away and just blurt out her name and everything that's wrong with her.
Floor stroke.
Yeah, come on, let's
Fracture
go.
right ankle.
Janet, get me some more coffee.
Yeah, go get him some coffee, you volunteer trash.
Lost a lot of blood. We'll need to type it.
I've noticed these movies have a lot of really long takes with very few cuts between them, and that's something that I really enjoy in film. But at no point from when they wheel in Jamie Lee Curtis have they discussed any type of medication needed. But the nurse just grabs this random syringe and hands it to the doctor, and then he injects her with this mystery serum. But don't worry, at least he forgot his gloves. Enter the volunteer. Go ahead and just hand me that coffee while I'm injecting a patient with something. I want you to bring it right over the patient's body. Make sure everyone touches it too. Oh, and you forgot the lid, just like I asked. I have the feeling she'd actually be a lot safer with Michael Myers. Still on the lookout for him, this clearly stressed out Dr. Loomis, so he pulls out his firearm while riding shotgun with the sheriff. No big deal though.
Look out! Slow down!
What?
Over there! Look!
Is that him?
I don't know!
So they see somebody who looks like Michael Myers, and so the doctor grabs his gun and runs after this group of kids. The guy dressed as Michael Myers sees this happen and then just sort of casually walks away. The sheriff then intercepts the doctor, before he's able to murder that kid, and then this happens. Okay, so that cop just murdered that kid. He needs to be arrested, and Dr. Loomis needs to be arrested for waving his gun and almost shooting him.
He came out of nowhere. I couldn't stop.
Came out of nowhere. He was standing in that well-lit street for like 25 seconds. He didn't just jump in front of your car. This schmo pulls up and is like, bro, we found some dead kids, and I think one of them was your daughter. So he bails. The cop who killed this guy and the doctor who actively tried to shoot him are free to roam the streets again. Here's an interesting thing I noticed when I watched this. So the guy who gets hit by that police car is seen bending over the hood of the police car, but in the next shot is somehow miraculously standing up straight again. Back to the worst hospital in the country. Remember that EMS guy? Well, he's back. Just wanting to grab some Lee Curtis hands. I love how times change, and what is considered to be romantic or endearing back then just comes off as really creepy now. The sheriff and friends go to the house his daughter was murdered at to reveal that she has, indeed, been killed. Look as he closes her eyes, and then... Wait a minute. She just moved! Your daughter's going to live, Sheriff! Shortly after, they talk about the possibility of Myers still being alive, and that the person killed may have been someone else. This deputy is 100% sure it's Michael Myers, and we should trust him, considering that he's never seen him or given a description of what he looks like.
He's dead.
I saw him.
Saw a man in a mask.
It was him.
Real quick, how many times did you shoot Michael Myers again? I kind of forgot.
I stood up and fired 6 shots into me.
Oh, that's right. Michael Myers heads over to the hospital and has to go through quite a bit of security in order to get in. So you remember some of those professional EMT guys from earlier?
Amazing grace, come sit on my face. Don't make me cry, I need your pie.
Look, why don't you just shut up, all right?
I agree, Jimmy. You know, Jimmy as a character is really growing on me. It's nice to have somebody that's really grounded in a movie like this.
Where you going, college boy?
College boy? I'll tell you, nothing makes me feel safer than an EMT who didn't go to college and looks down on his coworkers that did. Not to worry, though. Jimmy gets some much-needed Jamie Lee Curtis time.
Janet, go tell Mr. Garrett we're having trouble with the phones.
But he's at the other end of the hall.
Janet.
I'm sorry, he's what?
But he's at the other end of the hall.
Good lord, Janet is one lazy And this is the moment that Jamie Lee realizes that this hospital is total garbage. Janet gets her lazy over to Mr. Garrett for him to fix the phones. After that, I just end up feeling bad for him because it becomes one of those nights he just can't catch a break. Not to mention every lock in the building seems broken. What a coincidence. We go through this entire sequence of Mr. Garrett leaving, wandering around, and getting murdered, and Janet has not moved from the moment that he left. Janet, you have one patient in this hospital, and your only job is to keep them from pooping themselves at night so they can have a little dignity when they sleep. Get back to the unit! We're rejoined with Dr. Loomis in the country's worst police department as they discuss how they must assume Michael Myers is still alive without a positive ID. Obviously. They go to Myers' old house where a small mob is formed. The doctor once again flashes his revolver. Gosh, what is it with these small dick white guys and the feeling they need to have a gun with them at all times?
Heightens my sense of security.
Back at the hospital, some shenanigans are underway. That idiot EMT plays a prank on the nurse.
But you love me.
I'm an idiot.
As long as you're aware of it.
Let's go down to the therapy room.
I can't leave the kids right now.
I've heard people say that...
Keep in mind, she's the only nurse there now that's supposed to be watching these babies. But I guess having sex with Haddonfield's Albert Einstein is more important.
I don't know about that.
There's nothing redeemable about either of these characters. I'm actually on Michael Myers' side for this one. Kill them! Kill them! Kill them! It's around this time that Janet finally made it to the end of the hall, only to find Dr. Mixter stabbed in the eye, and then to be killed as well. Okay, that was actually pretty cool. The next few minutes are a cat and mouse game of Myers walking throughout the hospital and the remaining staff realizing there are fewer people than normal around. They vow to keep their eyes peeled for anything suspicious. Jimmy makes his way into a surgery room where he finds a nurse dead after having the blood drained from her body. This is it. The moment we've waited for. Jimmy is alive and now aware that Myers is in the building. Time to be a hero. Time to get the reinforcements. Save Jamie Lee Curtis. Prove your parents wrong that your career choice in Haddonfield wasn't a waste of time. It's your moment, Jimmy. It's your time to be a hero. Go, Jimmy. Save those people. They need you. Yes! Now we're talking. Run, Jamie Lee Curtis! Come on, Jamie! Who's gonna trade bodies with Lindsay Lohan if you die tonight? Oh no, it's Mr. Garrett! This was the worst night of your life. Check out this safety code violation right here. Okay. So Jamie is all clear. All she has to do is just keep hiding right there. Hey, look, it's Jimmy! Oh, Jimmy, I never should have doubted you. I knew you would bounce back. I knew they wouldn't build you up in the beginning just for you to punk out at the most pivotal time. You'll realize the car has been tampered with and come up with a plan. You still have time, Jimmy. Myers doesn't know either of you are there. You have the element of surprise. Now is the time, Jimmy. Pick yourself up. Be the hero I know you are. You can do this, Jimmy. America believes in Jimmy. Jimmy! The others arrive and walk into the hospital. This is when Jamie Lee decides to get some of that Rose Dawson syndrome from Titanic. Myers finds her, and it's time to kill. Okay, I'm calling BS right there. There's no way he just walks in through the glass.
He's dead. No, he's not. Look at him. He's still breathing.
Why won't he die?
I have no idea, Jamie.
No!
They scurry away together and lock themselves into a room, only to have old Mike just break it down. Loomis gets taken out pretty quick, as expected.
Michael?
There's some really good tension here, actually. Really well done. She shoots him in the eyes, blinding him, and also somehow completely taking away his sense of space. He's just flailing around. They gas up the place more than my friend Gus at Taco Bell, and light it up. I like how you can see the actor who's playing Michael Myers in protective gloves and gear as he's on fire. They transfer her to another hospital, but make her get out of the wheelchair and into the ambulance. They drive away happily ever after. What a fun movie. I'm really excited for the new Halloween movie that's going to come out, so I'll definitely be checking that out too. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take care.